So we're going to talk now about Bethesda's conference. This one is kind of under wraps. It's going to take place at 4 a.m. on Monday, June 12th.
Are you going to watch it?
Definitely not. I will catch the live stream the next morning. I'm not staying up for that. But anyway, we know that their slate is pretty much under wraps, and it's kind of hard to tell with most of the internal studios having put out stuff like Prey and Doom recently. But we know they're going to show off Quake Champions, which is a big esports, going to have a big esports focus for them. It looks pretty cool from the little that I've seen. It's multiplayer only, focused on that. Supposed to be a big esports game. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have a big focus on that. On top of that, they will naturally focus on VR for Fallout 4 especially, which they talked about last year. And they've also hinted at doing something for Doom. The Doom that came out last year in VR. So I'd expect us to get demos for...
That might be interesting.
Yeah, that might be really cool, you know, because VR is reaching a point where it's done alright, but I think it needs support from really big publishers and really well-known properties that can fit into
an IP like Doom is an IP like Doom enough to kind of launch VR into, say, a household thing?
The thing, I don't think there's one game that will ever do that. There's no one game that will ever just make VR a household thing, because VR is expensive if you're talking about it from the console and PC side, and VR doesn't have the fidelity at the mobile side. So, you know, it's between those two. How are you going to have that one game?
It has to be a team effort.
It has to be a bunch of software, and prices have to go down. But I think it will do pretty well if it comes out on stuff like PSVR and Oculus Rift and Vive, because people do have those headsets in their homes. So it could be interesting to see what they do in that space. As well as I'm expecting us to get a new Wolfenstein, which they hinted at last year in a really quite brilliant troll on a screen where they had all the names of their projects, and they had Wolfenstein, the New Colossus, hinting at that as a code name, or maybe the real name for the new Wolfenstein. You've never played the Wolfenstein?
I never played the Wolfenstein. They passed me.
Yeah, even I haven't played them, but I've watched a bit of gameplay. They are really cool cinematic first-person shooters. Kind of old school feeling in nature. They're pretty cool, so I'm looking forward to being impressed and having my attention grabbed by a new Wolfenstein.
Whenever I think about Bethesda, I just feel that they just need a new engine to wow us with, especially in the RPG sector.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, because do you expect us to see Skyrim? I mean, not Skyrim, sorry. A new Elder Scrolls 6.
A new Elder Scrolls.
I'm going with no.
I don't think so, because you really have to make a new engine from scratch. You cannot give us the same engine.
They're not going to do that, though. They're not doing that. Yeah. They're just going to upgrade that engine. And
I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think you have to come up with something completely new and give us something that we are familiar with, but just feels way better.
Yeah.
I don't want patches of the previous engine that you gave us, because Skyrim was fantastic, and that's when Fallout kind of felt that
you could see that engine was creaking.
Yeah, you could feel something was wrong in certain
frame rate was garbage.
aspects. Yeah,
the game looks old to me. It looks nice in places, but overall it looks.
I don't.
But they make so much money. I mean, Fallout sold
of course,
14
people
million copies.
Loved it.
So
I
don't expect them to.
And I know some viewers are gonna be like, no, f that. Yeah, Fallout was amazing. And then I'm gonna be like, well, I mean, it could have been better.
Could have been better. And Bethesda like to do the short announce to release strategy, in terms of we announce our big new game and it comes out 6 months later, like with Fallout. That's not happening with Skyrim. Skyrim is like at least 3 years away, so I don't expect. I keep saying Skyrim. Sorry, I'm an idiot. New Elder Scrolls. So I don't think we'll see that. But yeah, that's our thoughts on what we think will be at Bethesda's conference. We expect more surprises, but we're going to answer a couple questions now about that conference in particular.
Okay, do you think there might be any new IPs? Seeing as though we've had Dishonored and, they brought back the Prey series and so on. Do you think we might have anything new from Bethesda?
I don't think Bethesda are gonna give us anything brand new. They might give us something that we know, and it's going to be a sequel to what we already know. But in terms of coming up with something completely new, would mean that they have to build from scratch. It's either you're giving us another Elder Scrolls using your same engine, which is not advisable, or you're giving us something completely new that you have been working on for a really long time, and you've kept it under wraps.
Yeah.
I don't think Bethesda's just capable of giving us something brand new that will wow us. I don't know what you think.
No, I agree with everything.
Yeah. So.
Last point, seeing games like the Dishonored and Prey and that theme of games, it's a side comment. What do you think about the System Shock remake? Do you think we might see something of that after E3, or that's been done on that front?
The System Shock remake, well, I know that there's another studio who is basically doing a remaster of the original System Shock, if I'm right. Bethesda owns that. Do they own that property? I don't think they do. But it's a tough one. I don't think so, because they already have System Shock-esque games in Prey and Dishonored that work with those kind of systems, in terms of you have a playground and various systems at work. So I think they see themselves more as the company that's carrying System Shock's spiritual legacy forward with these new properties. So I don't think we'll see anything particular using the System Shock name, no.
Yeah, no, I mean in terms of they're not part of Bethesda, but separate. Do you think we might see System Shock finally come out, because the trend right now is System Shock?
If you put it that way, it's a possibility. It's a possibility that they might
a brand new System Shock.
It's a possibility that they might use that to their advantage and say, okay, look, we can expand on this, and we do have a fan base in this area. Can we make it better? Can we make it much better than what we already have, instead of creating something completely new? I think it's a possibility. But it's a long shot.
It's true. I think even if that was the case, I don't think E3 2017 is the place where that happens. I think we have to give it a couple more years, because they probably want to give a spotlight to Prey and that kind of Dishonored 2 a bit more. There's still DLC in the pipeline, so I don't think we'll see.
I don't think I want to see any Dishonored 2 or Prey DLC at either. It'll feel like you want to give us something that just makes us say, oh, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna, unless they want to give us mediocre news. I'm not sure, but it's a possibility.
It's a possibility, but I wouldn't bank on it being there this year, personally. Yeah.